I talked the other day about building the puzzle technology company. I try as much as possible to make it not a sales pitch. This is a sales pitch for an open standard for puzzles, and the little bit of specific pitch at the end here. So let's go. So this is the oldest known word square, cast in stone, and we can argue whether or not it's a puzzle or not, but this survives pretty well unless you get covered in ash, because that was in Pompeii. Here's a puzzle from Martin from the 60s, and not his puzzle, but it was ran in Scientific American. And this is pixels. This is the standard format that almost all puzzles in the world are preserved in, is a picture, microfilm pixels. This is a New York Times puzzle from a week ago. Same thing. This is basically a picture. And we need something better because we might get covered in volcanic ash, and we need something. This is that puzzle, previous puzzle. This is the most common standard for puzzles, and it's awful. It's got null bytes in the middle. It's got all sorts of other things. So the previous state of the art, before we created what we call ipuz, was proprietary. It was very limited. There's no standard for anything other than crosswords. And even I point out Sudoku, where it's 81 numbers, some numbers aren't there, you'd think, oh, that's gotta be an easy standard. No, there's even multiple 81 character standards for Sudoku. So we set ourselves a goal of doing something that supports 99% of paper and pencil puzzles, and not just crosswords, Sudoku, Ken logic puzzles. Weiwa was flipping through some puzzles last night. Can you do this? Can you do this? And the answer is, Pizzazz doesn't support every single puzzle possible yet, but ipuz can support it. So here's that Sator square in ipuz format. There's a puzzle, there's a solution. This is gonna be really hard because there's no clues. You have no idea what letters to put in. But hypothetically, if that was a puzzle, this is what it would look like in ipuz. This is that chess puzzle in ipuz format. In this particular case, there's no solution. The solution is actually like 4 pages long, which is a big, long explanation of all the things you can do, et cetera. This is that New York Times crossword puzzle. And in this one, there's red things highlighted. There's across clues, there's a round clue, there's one around clue, and there's down clues. And I cut out a bunch, and there's much more at the bottom. But that gives you an idea of what a puzzle looks like. There's no only across and only down. We're trying to be general. And here's that puzzle in Pizzazz, and there's the around clue in the middle. So something weird, we tried to incorporate the whole range of what we could do. So here's what we did for the design. We didn't invent a format to start with. We said, let's base it on JSON. It's easiest to parse. We looked into a lot. There's 3 areas: content, semantics, and look. We didn't do look. A spiral and a straight line are the same thing as far as we're concerned. But we did do some things like, you can say, I want color 3. Color 3 will be the same, and it's not the same as color 1 or 2. If you want red, you can say red. And we tried to make it so we could incorporate the whole range of what something you could print would be. We got a lot of feedback, and the last point is really important. We extend ipuz, and the standard says you can extend ipuz so that anybody can say, well, I need this one extra thing. No problem, you can do that. And so we think it's a pretty good standard. We're always open to feedback. We're at V2 right now. We started with feedback on what was V0. Terms. We have explicitly said free, perpetual, irrevocable license to use it by anyone. The documentation itself is under Creative Commons license. People can actually modify that if they want. We make requests that people comment instead of modify, but that's a request. So full Creative Commons license. Hold on. We did trademark ipuz so that people can't use it when they don't support the standard. Support the standard, you can use it. And we made a promise that if we ever patent anything related to ipuz, anyone who supports the standard can use that patent. And we have no plans to patent, but we made that promise anyway. So, it's still in its infancy. It's only a few years old, but it's starting to be supported by more and more applications. So here's the sell. If you have an app, a website, puzzles, this is a great way to do it. We don't think this is a frozen standard. We're happy to have it grow. We're happy to add to it. Like I said, we're at V2, and we would love to have more and more puzzles in ipuz format. Whether or not Pizzazz has anything to do with them, this isn't about Pizzazz. This is about sort of the future of the puzzle world. Okay, so that's it for that. That's my contact info. So one PS. Pavel was selling copies of my Librarian's Almanac, which is not in Pizzazz because you must fold, spindle, and mutilate this book in order to solve it. But if you happen to be one person who bought one, I will sign an invisible ink for you if you want. So thanks very much.